Good morning everyone. For continuity, it is Tuesday the 1st of July. It's 10:36 in the morning, and more importantly, as you can maybe see over my shoulders, it's a beautiful day. It's going to be 26 degrees today, a little bit overcast later, but it's beautiful. So I'm out for my walk now. Some days I have notes, some days I just like to free ball a little bit. As a Scottishman with a kilt, that's also a reference. But I've scribbled down 3 points, right? Our thanks, some thoughts and feelings, and the community section that I want to update you with. 1st of July. 1st of July. It feels like things are going really quick, yet also at the same time going immensely slow. That makes any sense to you. I read a comment from somebody this morning who'd watched yesterday's video saying good luck with all of the tasks, and it looks like you've got more than enough to keep you busy for a full-time job. And I laughed at that because that is true. There are days when I get up and I think about the tasks that I need to work through, and I think, how are you supposed to get this done when you're also doing a full-time job? Those are just the struggles of life, right? We all try and navigate through. I'm no different than your lives, I'm sure. But sometimes it does feel like, God, there's a lot to get through, and we don't have kids. So when I talk to friends, like my mate at the weekend that's got 3 kids and trying to get them through summer and new schools and everything else, I just think, wow, people really are consumed with life in this country. And by life, I mean like surviving, without any time to take a breath and enjoy anything good. That is one of the reasons why I'm opting not to go back to work, because after 31 years of just constantly, relentlessly chasing the grind, now that I've had this bit of time out, I'm quite enjoying it. And I would hope that as viewers of the channel, those that have kind of been following from the beginning, you might have seen some progression. I've felt progression. It's felt hard at times. It's definitely felt like it's been a year of a real life test, right? Losing a parent, jobs and all these things, much of which all of you are going through in different phases. I think that's why the channel's maybe connected with you, because you can relate to these topics. But I have felt different recently. I don't know if going back to that little bit of work last week just helped to shift my mindset slightly, and that the exit from the past job really just wasn't pretty. And at least getting the chance, I felt like maybe just redeeming myself a little bit. I read a comment, and look, I know I talk about these things, comments and things, right? And I just bring them up because I also like to cover these subjects, because I know there's people watching this that want to start a YouTube channel. And if you asked me what's the ups and downs of this channel or any channel, I would say that the ups are the creativity, the outlet, somewhere for you to express your feelings and thoughts, which for me has been really enjoyable. I'm kind of frowning there to say that because I'm trying to think of the right words to say. It's felt cathartic, it's felt therapeutic. And something I've never said on the channel before, that I think it's worth covering, right, is that you know, when I've talked about leaving the UK and some of the reasons, which was, you know, that big jolt of losing my father and the pull back to Scotland was no longer really there for me. But when I started the channel on the 9th of January, I set it up in a way that I thought, right, it will take me months and months to work towards monetization, hitting the various goals that you need to hit. And by the time I've done all of that, we should be about ready to leave. But the first video achieved all of the stats that YouTube needed. And so suddenly I was faced with, well, you either need to follow that content up, or it's going to be a very long gap until you decide to leave the country. So that was one of those moments where you have to kind of pivot. And I felt like I pivoted to cover other topics. But then when I talk about the comments, The reason that I bring them up, the ups and downs of YouTube, is that, you know, sometimes they can be pretty brutal, but, you know, in one respect, that is engagement on the channel. And, you know, on one side you're putting yourself out there to talk about these topics, and people at the other side get to comment on it. And so I had read a comment from somebody when I was talking about exiting that job that was like, you're over the hill, they were getting rid of you anyway, you obviously weren't that good. Right, and now that person doesn't know me, I don't know that person. But when you read something like that, you're like, wow, is that the impression that you get from all of this? Or are you just, you know, one of these people that likes to go trolling? But anyway, that was kind of in my mind. And so going back to doing a little bit of work last week felt like, yeah, okay, well, I can still do this. You know, I've had months out, but I've really enjoyed the circumstance. So that was kind of in my mind a little bit. And a boat going through the gate. Morning, how you doing, gentlemen? Look at this gent at the back of the boat here who's got his napkin on his head because of how warm it is. Hey, good morning, beautiful boat you have. Look at that. Yeah, so just cut for a second so that I could capture that boat into the shot. I love that way of life. Hey, good morning, how you doing? So yeah, going back to work felt like a bit of a, I don't know, validation, getting your brain moving. So I enjoyed those couple of days, but even on those couple of days, I started to feel a bit different. So if you're noticing that, I would say, thanks for following along. I hope you've seen the ups and downs, and I cannot say thanks enough for this channel, what it's been able to give me. By that I mean a bit of purpose, drive, focus, something to do each day, and also the creativity of just telling you what's going on. Right, so the thanks, I'm never really sure how to cover this, right, but I've received some donations from people since I started the channel, and I watch other channels and some talk about them and show their names and others don't, and I'm never sure if the person's comfortable enough with me talking about it or not. So I'm going to just use my best guess at this and use this little section to say thanks, because I received a donation a couple of videos ago that was more than I've received some months in entire earnings from videos, and that kind of blew me away a little bit, but also I was like, what do I do about this? So in the past I've received donations from Christina, Anita, from Deborah, from a few other people, and 2 days ago I received a donation from Matt, and I'm going to pop it up here, and the screen's going to slide up and I'm going to show it, because I believe in just saying thanks, and I hope that the person's comfortable enough. So Matt, who made the donation that's on screen here now, I wanted to say thank you so much. Look, you know, nobody has to make a donation. I don't really like asking for these things, because I'm trying to make the content for that point. There are features here on YouTube that I've been looking at. There's the membership page where I can offer additional content, or even live. And I've thought about, when we're away from the UK, whether live might be an option, like once a week if people wanted to be members, but I just also haven't really given it a full thought. And I also kind of had a number in my head of like number of subscribers before you activate these things. I kind of sometimes like to create my own rules and then try and follow them. So I've been looking at like the members benefits, and I just wasn't sure. I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to section off other money or content, etc. So I'm very torn. You can let me know in the comments what you think about the membership thing. Do you use it? Are you interested? If I did something like £2 a month or something for a membership, and then I create once a week I did a live video, would that be of interest? Anyway, aside from that, the donations that people make, a few pound here or there to support the channel, very grateful. You can do that on YouTube Or I have a Ko-Fi page, which is like buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description. Ko-Fi take 10% of the donation, whereas YouTube take 45%. However, I'm just immensely grateful any way that somebody wants to send me something for as a thanks. So Matt, thank you very much. That is amazing. That will be used wisely over the coming weeks. Right, I'm sweating a little bit because I've came up a nice walk up the hill here, just to get away a little bit from my normal route, give you a little bit of a different view for a change in that boat passing. So thank you to everybody that supported the channel, even just the comments and the messages, emails, follow on LinkedIn, forget LinkedIn, not using that, following on Instagram for example. So thanks. All right, Yvonne's on a work call now. She's on it all day today, and I can see a change in her as well. Now that we've crunched the numbers and we're in action in terms of selling things and we've got our plan together, she's now settled into this. She has 3 weeks to go at work and then she's finished. And I think she's now in the headspace of thinking, yes, I can't wait for this. Whereas before there was a lot of nervous anticipation and uncertainty. You know, and as a couple, we're talking about these things every day. But giving up a job that she's been in for 10 years has felt like a lot for her. But I can just see a sparkle in her eye now that we haven't had in a while, just because of the circumstances. So I've felt that and enjoyed seeing that, and she's seen it. So she's on a call today from 10 AM till 4 PM. Some big project that she's only going to be involved in for 3 weeks. So there's a bit of, you know, if you're in those situations, there's a bit of kind of enjoyment out of knowing that, all right, this big project's going on, but I'm not going to be part of it. Right, so a bit of ramblings. I kind of moved that around a little bit. Bit of ramblings and some thanks. Oh, a bit of fluff out my phone there when I put that in my mouth. And then the community section. YouTube has launched a new area called the community section. If you've seen me put posts up before, maybe a picture or a poll or a quiz or something, that's the community section. But the difference here now is that bloody hell, the dogs, a fly in my mouth. I'm leaving that in, that's for real life, bloody fly. So, community section. I normally have to put a post up and then you can reply to it. But actually in this new section, anybody can put a post up. So anybody in the community that wants to ask anything or ask questions to me can start the conversation rather than having to wait for me to start the conversation. So that's what's different in that community section. Hey, how you doing? It's been rolled out and my channel was eligible for it a few days ago and I've turned it on. So I put a post up asking if anybody could see it. Somebody had asked what's different about this section. So it's that you, the viewer, can start a thread or a conversation or a post and I can see it and interact with it, and it means that you can also engage with each other rather than just in the comments. You can do that in the community section. So I kind of think that's kind of cool. We'll see how it goes and whether we use it or not. But it's activated now, so that's also in there. All right, I think that's probably the roundup now. One last thing. You know, I was in the supermarket a couple of days ago, right? When I was about 10 years old, I played football till I was 18. And my local area was born in East Kilbride in Glasgow, outside Glasgow. And East Kilbride town was twinned with a place called Ballerup in Denmark, and I used to go as a kid to Denmark, stay with a family and play football for like a couple of weeks and then come home, and then the following year vice versa, and did that for a number of years. When I was in Denmark as a kid, about 10, I was taken by the family I was staying with out to a field, a day out, and we went picking of these sugar snap. And do you know, see, since 10 years old, every time I see these in the shops, I buy them, and I just love sitting with a bag of them, cracking them open and eating them, because it just hits me with such a dopamine hit of being 10 years old. You know, just carefree in Denmark playing football, living with a nice family, getting taken care of, an exchange student, and eating these bad boys. And just, let me see if I can pop this open, let you have a look at it. But see that? Can you see all the peas inside there? I've got a pocket full of them because it's a nostalgia trip. So, you ever eaten these? Or have you got something that you remember as a kid that now when you see in the shops you just can't leave alone? It's those for me. Right, I need to get on with selling some stuff. So today's was a bit of a leisurely discussion. You can let me know if you've been watching this channel and you feel like changes occurred, then thank you for watching the whole way through. A lot more to come. Big adventures starting very soon. And for the meantime, it's just taking you on that trip between now and exiting, what that looks like. And in tomorrow's video, I'm hopefully going to be able to give you the update on the HMRC thing, because I feel like that's now drawn to a close. I'm waiting on a response today from the accountant, and then hopefully I can put that to bed. That would be good. One thing off the list. All right, I've rambled enough. This was a ramble today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Before I go, get this little bridge here. I love these little bridges that are just along the canal path. And you get the number as to which bridge it is. So I said it was done, not quite yet, but this is number 3. Have a great day, everyone.